Good show for you today. The same grimy, greedy, fraudulent politicians who locked the country down, shut down businesses, shut down beaches and parks, now they are playing victim, apparently for the next decade, with the January 6 hearings. While the stock market crashes and the Biden administration pretends like everyone's doing great, the studies show people are saving more, the economy's just booming.
Over the past year and a half, we've experienced a robust recovery characterized by strong economic growth, historically low unemployment, and high household saving rates. This rapid, broad-based recovery has been buttressed by the congressional response.
During this presidency, people felt uncertain about the economy generally, but they actually felt as good about their personal financial situation as they ever have, according to the Federal Reserve survey, with nearly 80% of adults reporting that they are financially comfortable. So that matters as well.
Seems like they want to gaslight us into poverty and collapse. 2 takes before I start the live. Today I said stocks are crashing, inflation is up, gas is sky high, everyone is losing big, and the politicians who did the controlled demolition implosion of our economy with the psychotic COVID response are playing the victim for the next decade on TV. And an honest question, did even a single politician get punished for lockdowns, quarantining healthy people like a dictator, closing beaches, closing gyms, printing trillions of dollars, shutting down supply chains, and burying our entire nation into more poverty? Did a single one get held accountable? Oh no, but let's talk about the January 6 hearings forever. Give me a break. I'm live. What's going on, folks? So I'm going to talk about what I think about January 6th and the hearings, etc. in a little bit. Also, at the end of the stream, I want to keep it positive and say one of the great aspects of the last couple of years, even amongst all the turmoil and obvious economic destruction. So I want to have a positive twist at the end, at least from my perspective. But first, before I talk about January 6th, I just want to talk about where is the investigation for where this virus even came from, right? It's shocking that people forget because it's like such a circus, right? It's like, I hate Trump. I love Trump. Gun control, abortion. There's always some sort of issue where it's like a cat with a laser. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we all agree on laser. Oh, we all agree that Biden's not really laser. Everybody could say that gas price is going up, right? We can finally agree that, laser. So they have this great tactic of always like getting us distracted as soon as we're starting to come together. Oh, GameStop and, Wall Street corruption. We could both agree. Laser. So that's what's going on. But also, I just want to talk about where's the investigation into where this virus even came from, right? For over a year on Facebook, YouTube, all these mainstream media outlets, they were covering up, not just lying about or rather not reporting about. That's their prerogative, but actually actively covering up lab leak theory, the theory that this miraculous, mysterious COVID-19 virus that changed the world forever. Klaus Schwab writes his book, The Great Reset. Now it's a perfect time to just, take this neoliberalism, and turn it into a more communist style system that I'm going to say is equity and, what a wow. And trillions of dollars printed, trillions of dollars changing, businesses shut down. This probably affected the world economically, psychologically, mentally, physically. You take every aspect of reality. It changed everything more than any event in my lifetime. And not only is the media not interested in where this even came from in the first place, but they were covering up one of the most plausible theories that even Robert Redfield, ex-CDC director, now says he thinks the main theory that makes the most sense is a lab leak theory. Not only would they not report on it, but they covered it up for a year, folks. It's a movie. It's a movie where your January 6th trial, Donald Trump, this and that, and, now let's march in the streets. It's Pride Month. It's this month. It's that. It's a giant movie, folks. And the most important plot, this virus that destroyed literal reality and built this new normal that they've created. Where did it come from, right? Let's do a trial hearing for that. Oh, they're not that interested to figure out where it came from because it came from a bat, they said, even though there's this massive Wuhan lab, one of the, if not the biggest virology labs in all of Asia, just happens to be right next to where the guy ate the bat, even though they've been eating bats for hundreds of years. Oh, yeah, let's not look into that. Oh, but nobody cares because they believe Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney and they hate Republicans so much. I mean, you're not even remotely interested in where this all came from and getting to the bottom of it. There's going to be no counsel on that because they don't give a crap, okay? And I'm starting to think, I'm not even going to say starting to think, allegedly, reportedly, whatever I have to say, so these loser, low IQ, low brow, fact checker operatives don't take my stuff down. But it's like, the lockdown was really, whether metaphorically, whatever you want to say, was like a marketing campaign for this vaccine that Ivanka Trump says that Trump was working with the NIH since January. So they locked down in March. They already were working on the vaccine according to Ivanka in January. And now there's this great marketing campaign of be afraid, live in your house, everything's imploding. And, once you go get this product, you can go live back to normal again. Oh, what a perfect market. Oh, and if you don't get the product, you can't even go to work and you can't go to the gym and you can't travel. What a great marketing tactic. It's like holding somebody hostage and blackmailing them to get something you want them to get. But anyway, there's going to be no investigation or massive counsel into figuring out where this all came from. Even though if you're talking about a movie, January 6th, I'll talk about it later, not a great day, not a good day, not a smooth protest. It turned very sloppy, etc. Everybody knows that. What about the 2 years prior, the year prior, rather? None of that really piques your interest at all. The fact that you got locked in your house for 2 months, your entire reality changed. You got forced masked everywhere you go, had to take a test. Literally every aspect of your life changed, your work life. But that doesn't interest you, right? We just want to talk about that one day, which I will talk about later, I promise. But no, you don't want to talk about that. What about the fact that the Democrats and Republicans came together and printed trillions of dollars, right? They added, I think, $9 trillion. Biden comes in, he prints trillions more dollars. We're just going to print money out of thin air, but inflation's not going to come until Putin invades Ukraine. Is anybody dumb enough to believe that? And this is the truth that they're not saying. COVID-19, the virus, did not create all this inflation and economic problems. A virus doesn't do that. Their response to the virus is what created all the problems. Not the virus itself, their response, the lockdowns, the restrictions, the money printing. That's what caused it. Not the virus, their response. And I don't care what little dweeby fact checker wants to lie about that. That's the truth. And it's the same thing with Putin's invasion. Putin's invasion of Ukraine has an impact, but the real impact was the sanctions. Once they do this, we do this, they do this, we do this. Next thing you know, it's not the actual invasion, but it's the response from our side and his side as well. Well, we're going to do this. Well, we're going to do the sanctions. Well, then I'm going to turn the gas and you got to pay in rubles. And that it's not the actual invasion, but it's the response to the invasion that did all this stuff. But the politicians doing it don't want to take accountability as long as they could be like, oh, it's Putin and Trump and Kim Jong-un and, Gaddafi. Oh, no, we killed him already. It's Saddam Hussein. Oh, no, we killed him already. It's the, random family that we drone. Oh, no, they didn't have anything to do with them. We just drone strike them by mistake. Oh, well, but we're not murderers. That guy's not, you can't invade other countries. Oh, I guess we can invade other countries. We only done it like 15 times or something. But you can't invade your neighbor, but we can go over to a foreign land and invade people that we're not even near. Because of human rights abuses. Even though back home we're doing human rights abuses, we just don't admit it. But, oh my God, it's just so obvious. So there's going to be no investigation into that. Did any politician get held accountable for the lockdowns, the closure of gyms? Are we going to do a count of how many elderly people, their bones wore down, their muscles wore down, depression because they couldn't see their family and community? The death toll is probably in the tens of millions worldwide at a low from all the destruction, but they're not interested in studying that. Read the book if you want to do yourself a favor, How to Lie with Statistics. It's from the 1900s. It's relevant to everything they're doing today. But in general, it's like these are the massive issues that are impacting everybody. I woke up this morning, checked the stock market. Oh, but Janet Yellen says, and whatever the new Jen Psaki, Corinne Jean-Pierre, she says that families are saving more than ever. Where are these families at? Because I have multiple families. My parents are divorced. Their stocks are going down. Their stocks are going down. My stocks are going down. Most people have stocks as life savings. Where are these 80% families that Federal Reserve says are doing so great? Oh no, gas prices up, meat prices up. Stocks are going backwards. The price of everything's going up. But you're doing better. As long as you look at the January 6th thing, as long as Orange man bad and Russia man bad and, I don't know, Republican man bad and Pride Month, woo! Let's rainbow flags, yay! Inflation, implosion of the economy, you're poor. Hey, BLM, just ignore the fact that your neighborhoods are getting worse, less safe, and nobody's making money because we're, it's like there's always just a little circus. So, without getting on too much of a tangent, the main issues facing our country, nobody even cares about because they're just running people in circles. And since this virus changed the course of human history forever, why not put a council together to figure out where it came from? Spoiler alert, folks, they don't want you to know where it came from because, I don't know, maybe use your brain. Why are they so uninterested in figuring out where it came from? Why are they so uninterested in the lab leak theory? So uninterested that they were banning channels and accounts for years talking about it. And then after a year of banning everybody, no, it's a bat. It's just the bat. It's the bat that changed the world. You just ate a bat and the whole world just did communism and, treated you like a, prisoner, just the bat. And then a year after that, like information evidence, it's too obvious, like this massive level, whatever, virology lab in Wuhan is right next to the bat. And then Zuckerberg and all these people are like, oh, actually, you can talk about the lab leak theory because it's so blatantly, blaringly obvious that, it's just like, yeah, I guess it is a theory. Like, we're not 100% sure, but now you can talk about it. After we censored you for a year when you were locked in your house and we did all this stuff, now that we got it all done, yeah, go ahead and talk about the lab leak. I mean, that's not sketchy to people that they covered up one of the main theories for over a year and you don't even want to know where this thing came from? Wake the F up, folks. All right, I'm passionate. I'm not trying to be upset, but it's just so annoying. It's like the just implosion of the economy and everything just never stops. All right, so let's talk about January 6th, okay? In my opinion, sloppy day. I wasn't there. People shouldn't have followed the great vaccine salesman. That's what I call Donald Trump. Either Grandpa Moderna or the great vaccine salesman. He acted like a populist Republican hero for 3 years. Then he sold the vaccine with Fauci and Gates for a year, sold Moderna heavy from November to January, and then told his supporters to come complain about Mike Pence in Washington. So, red flag, when Trump starts selling vaccines harder than Bill Gates, stop following him in circles. He's probably part of the circus. But anyway, people went on that day. 99% of people, if not more, were just going for a peaceful protest. They follow Trump anywhere. They'd go to Kansas, Alabama, Alaska, Maryland, wherever Trump goes, they were going to go. You know what I'm saying? He's the great Pied Piper. So they followed him thinking, we're going to have this moment. Maybe Mike Pence is going to, I don't even know what people were thinking because I stopped believing Trump at that point. It was so clear he was like in on the scam, but everyone's like, no, Mike Pence is going to overturn the election. And Lynn Wood said that. It's like, all right, if you want to do that, whatever, but no, yeah, good luck. So, most people were not there for an overthrow of a government. Most people were not there for any sort of revolution. Most people were there to just follow Donald Trump and have a day where he told them lies or whatever, told mostly truths and then blamed other people instead of taking accountability. And, just like, I don't know, have an emotional day in the city or something, being like, I want Trump, not Biden. And obviously the election was like very bizarre. Biden, who could barely talk, who, has videos of him like touching kids weird on camera, like the fact that he got so many votes, the fact that, there's a leak in Atlanta and the close of the votes down and Trump's winning. It looks like he's about to win. And then it's like, we'll stop counting and we'll count tomorrow. And everybody wakes up and Pennsylvania takes like 4 days to count. I mean, it took them like 3 or 4 days to count Dr. Oz and McCormick. That's sketchy. So, combined with all of the sketchiness of the election, people wanted different results. Long story short, a small percentage of people were role-playing George Washington. And here's what I have to say, honestly, because I'm not really, I think people did dumb stuff, but it's like, nobody was really there to overthrow the government. Maybe people were pretending they were, they're role-play, which is stupid. I mean, that's going to get you in trouble and arrested, but it's like role-playing, nobody had, they were like, I don't know, did they find guns and were people, no, people were just being emotional like women or, emotional men, just being like, I'm upset. I feel very strongly about this. I'm going to throw a little hissy fit like a baby at the Capitol. And it was a very small amount of people that did it. A majority of people just walked home and didn't do anything, but a small percentage of people pushed the barriers, right? A small percentage of people went in Pelosi's office or whoever's office and took pictures. It was more like a wannabe George Washington, look how cool I am on Instagram and, streaming than it was like an actual overthrow of the government. So it's sloppy. It was stupid. I think anybody that broke the law and actually did something illegal, like went into people's offices without their permission, I mean, what do you think's going to happen? If you're a grown adult, you know what I'm saying? If you're like a guy over 30 and you're like in someone else's office, it's like, stop role-playing George Washington, go home, bro. You're not doing anything. You're going to get in trouble, obviously. They're looking to set you up. Life is not fair. They're looking to set you up. They hate you. Why are you giving them more reason? But anyway, long story short, if somebody literally broke the law and did something violent or, super illegal, then arrest them. If someone didn't do that, like the many people that are, being falsely accused at the Capitol for just standing outside, then don't arrest them. Leave those people alone and go for the people that actually did something. After all of it, just stop talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Do what you have to do and let's move on. I think a lot of people are being charged that were innocent. I think a lot of people are being held in jail without a trial, which is messed up. And there are a small amount of people that actually did stupid crap. And, that happens when you have hundreds of thousands of people in an area. Not everyone's going to be a winner. Some people are going to get emotional and do something stupid. So it's like, just get over it already. Do what you have to do and then move on. But of course, they're not doing it fairly. They're charging a lot of people. They're acting like it was the greatest event ever. They don't care about the Kavanaugh assassination attempt. They don't even talk about it. They don't care about the BLM riots. In fact, if you talk about it like Jack Del Rio, coach of the NFL, you get fined for comparing January 6th to the BLM riots. Me, I don't like either event, but the BLM riots caused more damage, more people died, more people were murdered, more small businesses were burned. And I'm not saying the difference between January 6th, at least what they're saying, is because it had a political connotation or whatever, and there was a political process being had. It's not good. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but however, the only reason these politicians care so much is because it affects them. When they lock you in your house, it doesn't affect them because you're locked in your house. They're still making money off your taxpayer dollar. When you're forced masked everywhere, look at these celebrities that are at these events. They're smiling at the Super Bowl. Oh, the peasants who are bringing me the pretzels, you wear the mask because you're the worker. But me, I'm the mayor of Los Angeles. I'm Eric Garcetti. I'm going to take a picture with Eric Magic Johnson. They don't care because they don't actually follow the rules. So the real reason, even though January 6th, in my opinion, was a failure, that they're so upset is because the January 6th event actually not really affected them. And when your business gets burned down, when your city gets burned down, when your, house gets broken into, they don't give a shit because it's like, it's your house. You know what I'm saying? It's not their house. But the second that their workplace has an event, now all of a sudden they give a shit. And that's what I was saying on the day where I'm like, first of all, you guys lock, and I'm not saying it was a good idea, but you lock people in houses for a year. You treat people like slaves, peasants, serfs, and pieces of garbage. You know what I'm saying? You do all this stuff and you expect people to just be like, yeah, this is great. It's like some people are going to lose it. And I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying it's like now all of a sudden they want to cry the victim for 10 years because they were slightly affected. And in many cases, they have to lie and act like they were even closer to the damage like AOC that she really was. Because it makes them not only feel important, but it gives them like, oh, I was the victim that day. So now I'm going to talk about it for 10 years. What about David Dorn's family when he got murdered in cold blood trying to defend a pawn shop? What about the thousands upon hundreds of businesses that either got burned, looted, raided, and completely had their property value, diminished because of that time? Oh, no, they don't give a crap when it's you. So that's what people need to figure out, especially on the left wing. I think the right wing gets this. On the left wing, they don't give a shit about anything unless it slightly affects them, and they're going to cry the victim as if they were like, the perpetrator or the victims of World War II for the next 30 years, as if it was a 9/11 event. It's the worst thing. So it's like, guys, they only care because it's their neighborhood and their workplace, not yours. When yours gets that treatment, they don't give a crap. So overall, I think it was a stupid day. I think there were a small percentage of people who were role-playing George Washington for Instagram, trying to look like they were some sort of revolutionary. In my opinion, that's what that event was. It wasn't a full-blown insurrection. It wasn't a Trump supporters trying to overthrow the Capitol. I mean, it was like the horned hat shaman, a couple dozen people getting rowdy. And I'm not justifying it, but you go to left-wing protests, they're getting rowdy. They're throwing stuff at the mayor's office. They're banging on the door in the Capitol to try to do it to Kavanaugh. Life is not fair. When you're left-wing, you get away with anything. When you're right-wing, they act like it's 9/11. And although I'm not justifying what some people did, because some people did stupid crap and probably deserve to get charged if they, if you're at the Capitol and you're knocking a police barrier down, I saw the video, you're stupid. I don't know. You deserve to get arrested, left wing or right wing. Like, why are you at the Capitol knocking a police barrier down? You're emotional. Yeah, I want you're like a little baby. You know what I'm saying? Calm down, little baby. You know, you're not overthrowing the Capitol. You're not George Washington. You're just throwing a fit that's going to have zero impact politically, socially. If anything, it's just going to put you in prison and send the people that you're trying to help backwards and screw us over for 4 years, because now everybody's getting in trouble for your stupid shit. So long story short, I'm not justifying it. There were some stupid people there, but they're trying to take an event that was like this bad and make it look this bad. And that's part of their scheme as the economy is just tanking, not because of just Putin's invasion, not because of a virus, because of their response to all of it. They imploded the economy in a controlled demolition scam and then wrote a bunch of books about how they're going to reset it and then act like it's a conspiracy theory. Fact check, it's a book. He writes in his book, I'm smart enough to read the book. I'm reading the book. I'm not going to call him a communist, but he agrees with communism. He doesn't like capitalism. He doesn't like free market. He doesn't think competition's a good idea. He believes in equity, government intervention. The man is a communist-minded person. This country is not founded on communism. So, wow, this thing comes and they just do communism. And now I have to listen to Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney cry for 3 months. Give me a break. So overall, to wrap it up, I think January 6th was a sloppy event. You should never follow the great vaccine salesman. When Trump starts selling Moderna harder than Bill Gates, that's when you should stop playing along. And, a very small percentage of people actually did illegal stuff. A very large percentage of people are being either framed or mistalked about. And these politicians, because it's not their neighborhood getting mauled like the George Floyd riots, they have to play the victim for 20 years and act like it was 9/11, when in reality, it was mostly just a bunch of like wannabe George Washington activists on the right role-playing revolutionary when they didn't come to the Capitol to do anything except for take selfie for Instagram. A very small percentage of people were doing anything like that. There was no planned, coordinated, like thousands of people storm the Capitol. It was just a sloppy overflow of a vaccine salesman rally event where Donald Trump runs in circles and tells people Hillary's going to get arrested any day, but really it's his own supporters getting arrested. All right. I want to do something positive now that I kind of complained for a little while, because I like to just really tie it all home. Although my stocks are going down, everything I put my money in is going down, crypto's going down, I'm getting scammed by the system, and a lot of people are. I do want to say two things. One, our currency, if you look at the US dollar versus the Chinese, however you say it, the Japanese, I think it's yen, and a lot of competition, or a lot of like the pound and the euro. If you look at our US dollar, it's actually been getting stronger over the last year. I don't know what type of wizardry our Federal Reserve is up to or what the heck we're doing, but long story short, the US dollar doesn't look like it's collapsing against other currencies. In fact, it looks like it's doing pretty well. So although I'm not a big fan of like the US dollar and what it stands for, I do own it. This is my country and I don't want to be poor. So I appreciate that. It's like, oh, it's just fiat fake currency. Yeah, but I have I'm not going to say a lot of it, but enough of it. So I don't want it to collapse. Everyone's like, yeah, the US dollar is going to collapse. Yeah, then we're all going to be poor eating bugs. So it's like, as much as, I don't like the American regime, I'm not I'm not like a self-hating left-wing, like activist where I'm like, I hate America, I hate everything, I hate my life, I hate it. And it's like, yeah, no, I get it. Let's make the system better. But you don't want to be so self-hating, that you want to like lose all your money. It's like at a certain point, you don't want that. And I think that's how they control the left. It's like if they get you to hate yourself, hate your country, hate the economy, hate your money, hate your parents, hate your 401ks, then if it all goes away, you won't give a crap. The only people that give a crap about their 401ks are mostly older people who tend to vote right-wing. And I don't even know if like left-wing people care. They're so brainwashed. They're like, isn't it worth it to save? You're not saving democracy. The people running the show think it's a democracy in Ukraine when he banned 11 political parties, consolidated the media, and essentially stole the next election because he banned a lot of opposition political parties. Yeah, that's the type of democracy they're trying to save with the January 6th trial. Give me a break. But in general, it's like, if they can make you hate yourself, hate everything, then when they take all your stuff away, you don't care. It seems to be only right-wing people that are like, all our money's going away and I don't want to be poor. And left-wing activists are like, yeah, I want to be poor because I hate myself. The equity is when I have no money and all the big corporations and, politicians take my money. I'm so corrupt. Just, I hate the government, but I think they should take 60% of my paycheck and then they'll bomb, children in Yemen and I'll cry about it. It's like, if you hate the government so much and you think the government's so corrupt and Trump's so bad and Biden's so bad, why would you want to give more of your money to the federal government? Left-wingers don't think, because they're so self-hating, they're like, yeah, just steal my stuff and I'll act like the economy doesn't even matter. It's like, good luck being poor then. But anyway, the positive I wanted to talk about was the internet, and I guess a positive experience I've had using the internet. The internet is like the yin and the yang. It's like everything. It's like the good and the evil and the good. It's been one of the greatest blessings to humankind, and it's also been one of the biggest curses, right? It's one of the biggest struggles. People have a phone. It's super addicting. It's like shaped like a rectangle, yet you spend hours just staring at it like a psycho. We all do. But also on a pro, it's like you don't have to go hunt. You don't have to go on a horseback and slaughter a cow for your family to eat. You can just like click a button and be like, I want a filet mignon. No. Medium well. No, medium. No, I want Burger King. No, I want Taco Bell. No, you know what? Actually, I want a salad. You know what? No, actually, I want a pita. I want Greek food. I want Thai food. I want Asian food. I want Japanese. So it's like, it's a blessing and also a curse. It's the greatest and worst thing to ever happen. And I want to say, even through the pandemic, I was allowed to... Sorry, I'm out of breath. I'm standing up today. I didn't realize I'd be so out of breath. I must be getting fat. Yeah, once I start getting shaped like Bill Gates, you got to let me know, okay? Because I'm not trying to be a sloppy potato salad Bill Gates looking person where I'm like, the only way to make people healthy is to give them vaccine and birth control. And it's like, all right, bro, relax. Do some push-ups. Anyway, I didn't realize I'd be this out of breath. But the internet in 2020, right? I would say if it was like 1970, 1980, 1990, even before the internet, and I wanted to speak the truth. I wanted to talk about what was happening during the pandemic. I wouldn't have been allowed to. It's like if I wasn't hired by Fox or CNN or whoever, Murdoch / Turner, whoever the big corporations that control those corporations, I would have had really no chance of getting my message out there. And same with music. It's like, or comedy. I think comedy on the internet is so great because back in the day, like if Comedy Central didn't give you a chance, or maybe the booking agent in your city didn't like you and was like, oh, you're not that funny, even though you were the funniest one, it's almost like you were kind of stuck back in the day. It's like, that's the only way I could really prove myself. Even if you don't make it to the NBA, if you're really good at trick shots or something, you could make more money than some of those players on the internet. So, I'm very grateful during 2020, despite all the economic collapses, etc., that I was able to get my message out there. I was able to make news reports and counter the wicked mainstream media. And the internet's been really great for that. Even amongst the censorship, even amongst the bias and stuff, it's been really bad over the last couple of years, no question. But at the same time, if you get knocked down a peg or two, sometimes you just got to keep moving. There's been a lot of people who've suffered censorship. I think two people that have done a great job with it has been Alex Jones. Say what you want about Alex, but he got censored the hardest, and he's probably never been more relevant and famous. He's gone on podcasts, and even though they tried to silence what he was saying, he still finds a way to get out there and get into the public. Savannah Hernandez has done a great job. She's got banned from a few things, but she just keeps going to these protests and, getting on news, getting on Tucker Carlson. And there's a lot of people, even with the censorship, they're able to thrive. So I think it's a great time for that. And I think about myself just like a comedian that although I'm not a comedian, but it's like, say you're so funny and nobody gives you a stage. Nobody gives you a platform. It's like, man, I wish I could stand on that stage in front of 10,000 people and get one chance to show them how funny I am. Now with YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, you don't need a major corporation. You don't need a booking agent. You don't need one of these people that's like, okay, here's your chance. You get a Comedy Central show and prove yourself. You can make your own show and put it on YouTube. And it's kind of, I don't like to be petty, but I do kind of have that mentality. I don't like when people underrate me. I kind of have a chip on my shoulder. It's almost like I'm going to show you. And I try not to be rude about it, but it's like if you're a comedian and everybody passes on you and Comedy Central doesn't think you're funny or they think it's too politically correct, and then you make a YouTube channel, get 1 billion views or whatever, and now they can't deny you, right? It's like now you can run laps around industry favorites. You can run laps around all these crappy comedians that got the gigs that you didn't, and then it's undeniable. It's like you guys passed on me, slept on me, never gave me opportunities, never gave me a platform. but I gave a platform to myself. And that's really what the internet is to this day. If you're selling merchandise, a lot of women make soap and, bracelets, and men make them too. But I'm just saying, it's like crafting, Etsy. There's so many opportunities to thrive on the internet. I've watched a lot of homemakers make tens of thousands of dollars just from their home on Etsy. Etsy.com is great for sales of like obscure, unique stuff that it's almost like a farmer's market / marketplace of stuff that you would find at a marketplace. So I would say that's been the blessing of the internet. And I just wanted to say that's positive, because even over the last couple of years, even though they're screwing over a lot of people's finances, including my own, it is what it is. Money's not everything, although without it, I would probably be on the street. So I'm not like that stupid or anything. I'm not trying to live in the woods. However, I did want to kind of highlight some of the blessings of the last couple of years as well. And I feel that same way with myself. When it came to rap, I had, a lot of people don't know this because I don't talk about it too much, but I had actually record labels reach out to me when I was 19 and 20 because I had like 1 million or 2 million views on YouTube. And YouTube was very new. If you had a couple million views on YouTube, it meant more than it does today. I mean, it's still amazing to do that, but back then there wasn't as much competition. There were no celebrities on YouTube. You get what I'm saying? Will Smith didn't have a YouTube, and all, everybody wants YouTube. Back in the day, it's only individual creators. People used to look down on it. Like, they're like, oh, you're just a YouTube rapper. You're not the real deal. Now, all these people are on YouTube because they realize it's even more important than the television. So, I had record label offers, and they'd always just be like, you should stop rapping about politics. You should rap only about women. You should talk about love and weed, and don't do that. And don't talk about conspiracies. You should just wear Abercrombie. And they wanted to like dress me up and get me beat up or something in the hood when I went. But in general, I was like, nah. And I always felt like passed over. I always felt underrated. Even to this day, I have almost 1 billion views. Maybe I have passed 1 billion views. I don't even really know how to count them all with all the social media. And there's still massive events that I look at that they book 50 speakers. And I don't care. I'm not that petty. But at the same time, I'm like, man, those people give me a stage to either perform or speak or host, and I'm gonna blow it out of the water, But because I don't get all these opportunities, either from big corporations, from the music festivals, even a lot of conservative conferences that don't want to work with me, I'm always so grateful that I still have the internet, because at the end of the day, you can't take really a platform away that I've created for myself. Yeah, you could censor me, you could ban certain stuff, but there's always other options, and it's always good, even if you get knocked down, to just reinvent yourself and do other stuff. So overall, I am really grateful for the internet, although there's a lot of corruption going on economically and even technology-wise, that I've been able to build my own platform, even if it's fleeting, even if I lost everything tomorrow. I hope I don't. I was still able to hit that moment in time and get people to see certain messages I wanted to see, influence politics, influence culture, and there's really never been a better time to do that. There's really never been a better time to be an independent musician. There's really never been a better time to be a homemaker. There's really never been a better time to be a small business. And there's really never been a better time to, prove your doubters wrong, whether it be in business, commerce, homemaking, music, comedy, news reporting, content creation, any sort of the sorts. It doesn't really matter what other people think. It doesn't really matter what people think you can and can't do, because you can always do it for yourself. And before I wrap it up, I have a pretty good work ethic. Like, I stream almost every day, all the time. I very rarely take breaks. And, sometimes people will mention that and be like, you have a good work ethic. On one hand, compared to other content creators, sure, I actually curate all my stuff. I film it, edit it, everything I do by myself. But it's also like there's harder jobs out there. So now that this is going well, I just want to keep it going, because I know that the life is hard and there's way harder things to do. So it's, it's like, why squander this opportunity? And also it's like, this type of thing keeps me really going as well. Just the fact that it's like, I don't really have the stability. I don't have this massive deal that, I could sit back on. I didn't sign a 50 million Sony deal, whatever. So it's like every day I have to grind because I'm looking at my stocks going down. Also, there's ripe material everywhere, things that I would think anyway and want to say anyway. So, I just want to hopefully give people some Monday motivation, because times are tough economically, socially. I mean, the world is a mess. I call Pride Month now. Pride Month is rebranded as Apologize to Your Hardline Christian Pastor Month, because they said 10, 15 years ago that the slippery slope would happen. Everybody said no, and it looked like they understated it. So Pride Month is now apologize to your hardline Christian pastor month, or, any religious teacher that told you the slippery slope was coming. But stay motivated, stay inspired, do what you can. And, every obstacle and hurdle that comes along the way, there's always an opportunity to be had. So even though I almost shed a tear watching the stocks and crypto just absolutely crumble this morning, and it's just like never ending turmoil, it just makes me want to work that much harder and appreciate the things that money can't buy and take away from you, family, nature, whatever it is. Have a good one, and don't let the haters get you down. Don't let the Janet Yellens get you down, and the press secretaries and the crybaby politicians who are going to act for 20 years like they are the biggest victim ever as they implode our economy. Don't let them get you down. And if you're a business owner, individual content creator, comedian, any of those sort of things, understand that TikTok, even though they censor a lot, TikTok, Instagram, this is the greatest way to get your message out there. There's nothing like it, folks. There's really nothing like it. I kind of, I'm a competitive person. I like sports. I like to compete. And I try to, I try not to be like hateful or anything like that, but I see so many people with massive budgets, television shows, they're getting deals, they're getting massive speaking gigs, and I'm like, I'm just enjoying, in a messed up way, I'm enjoying just running circles around them, because I'm like, how, it's almost like I get fueled off it. Like every time people say I can't do something, it fuels me. Every time like somebody sleeps on me, or if you look at someone, you're like, hey, that comedian's not even that funny, I'm a better comedian. The best thing to do is just prove it. And now instead of having to wait for somebody to do it, you have social media and you have the technology to really show the world without anyone's permission or gatekeeping approval. Yes, there's censorship, but even with it, thousands of people have gotten their message out there. So there is a way to do it. Appreciate y'all, folks. Have a beautiful day, and I'm gonna go hit the gym. I didn't know I would be this tired just from standing up, but I don't know. I guess it's a little bit of a different energy than sitting down. Man, if I keep this up, I'm going to be shaped like Bill Gates soon, and that's not a good shape to be. Appreciate y'all. Have a good day, and this will be posted, the audio, on Dream Rare Podcast, available on Spotify, Apple, wherever podcasts are found. Appreciate it.